should you say it's possible? Or there is that kind of mindset whereby people have felt comfortable in accepting it as values. So it end up discouraging even parents who are looking for answers. Sometimes they are told, just wait, it will come. But sometimes even people who are telling parents to wait that speech will come, they know the truth. They know the truth. If no intervention is done, it will not come. But nevertheless, they tell parents, it will come. But as we know scientifically, as we know as a fact, the speech can never come unless you do something. The speech can never come unless you employ some habits. The speech can never come unless you take your child for intervention. What do I mean by intervention? Because at that young age, the brain is still developing. So when you stimulate that brain, either using the communication attempt you use, either engaging your child into play groups, either engaging your child into sport activities, which are going to trigger responses from the parts of his brain in charge of communication, where they find that they are not strong, they are going to start adapting, reorganizing, strengthening the neural pathways in charge of that. So anyone who will tell you that your child who is nonverbal, that that's okay and you should accept it, from today, don't accept it. I've seen children who couldn't talk before talking. I've seen children who had hyper before being calm. So the solution shouldn't be to go and lock the children in the rooms. And if someone tells me, yeah, the brain is wired that way and there's nothing you can change, I'll ask you outright, okay, is the best solution to lock my child in the room? So if you can't give me that solution, that yes, I think it's better you lock your child in the room, then just leave me alone. So today I want to, we've talked a lot about this book, which I think, which many parents have really testified that it has helped them a lot. This book, Why Your Child Understands But Doesn't Speak, a simple guide to brain body communication and what parents can do. There is a chapter 8 that I always tell you about. I want to help you to take you through what is in this chapter 8, which you might need, which by knowing this, you might be able to help your child even more. I'll read about to you in this chapter 8 and also in chapter 7. In this chapter, there is this first paragraph which I like. It talks about that when many people think about speech, they just think about the mouth. And that's what we do, all of us. Yes, the child is not speaking. Okay, look at the mouth. And then that's how this thing came up. Say daddy, say mommy. Because we only see the speech coming out of the what? Of the mouth. But speech is not just about the mouth. It involves the whole body. As I'm speaking, it's not just my mouth speaking. The whole body is working so that I can do what? That I can speak. That I can speak. So, for a child to speak, many parts of the body must work together. Let me tell you those parts. You can even take a pen and write them down. That child of yours who is nonverbal, who is speaking a few words but is struggling to make a sentence, that child of the neighbor, I'm going to tell you the different parts of the body that work together for him to be able to do what? To talk. First, the brain must send a message. It always starts in the brain. The brain thinks about what to talk and it sends the message. Now, the body, this one, now the body must receive the message. You see, what we thought that it is about the mouth and tongue, and it's about the mouth, but it's a complex operation in which both the body and the brain must coordinate. That's why at Kunga therapy, we emphasize on that body-brain connection, because that's where the problem is. Either the body is not receiving well the message, or the brain is not sending the clear message. So the body must receive the message. Again, the muscles must respond. What do I mean by muscles? The breathing muscles, my mouth, of course, my tongue, my jaw. So these ones must now respond. The message was received by the body. Now, from the body, through the nerves, the message again is sent to muscles. So it's a very big, complex operation. And if you've been looking at your child for him not speaking, if you've been looking at him, looking at his brain, what's wrong with my child's brain? Why is he not talking? What's wrong with this child's brain? My friend, maybe the problem is not with your child's brain. The problem is with the body. The body is not receiving information. And maybe what he needs to be taken through swimming classes, learning game, so that the body can coordinate it more and close that gap of the receiving end. So the brain must send the message, the body must receive the message, and the body again, through the nerves, must send the message to the what? To the muscles. But not only that, the timing of the message, when the message came, the timing must be correct. Because if I have to say school, but now the message is sent from the brain, but instead of saying school right now, I say school after 5 hours, then there will be no communication. So the timing must also be correct. So now this shows you that the speech is not just about the language, it's about the coordination. There are different parts that have to coordinate for your child to be able to do what? To speak. That's why your child can understand but fail to speak. Now, let me explain it even more simply. Think about speaking like let's say a word, any normal word, mama, baba, daddy, all that. It requires breathing control. Let's say I'm saying mama. As you can see, when I'm saying mama, if you can even do that exercise by yourself. Say mama. As you are saying mama, you can hear some air coming out. So that is a work of the breathing muscles. So you can't speak without releasing the air. Again, if I'm speaking, I can't speak without moving my lips. Again, not just lips, my tongue have to move. My jaw have to also do movement. So all these have to coordinate together. Now, if my jaw, my lips, my tongue, and my breathing muscles are not coordinating well. Let's say the word is supposed to come and my jaw is supposed to move, like sometimes it happens for people with stroke. The voice will not come out. I'll say, mama, mama. You see, there is no way I can say mama if my jaw doesn't move. But you ask yourself, who controls that? It's cerebellum. But for me, not being able to move the jaw, the tongue, the mouth, does it mean that there's a problem with my brain? No. Does it mean that my brain is impaired? No. So from now, if you understand that the reason why maybe I'm not talking is because my jaw is not moving, and before maybe you thought that somehow my brain is not normal like other children and my brain has got a problem, I think you should now start looking at me in a different angle. I've just got a problem with my jaw. Why do you make it a big deal? I've just got a problem with how I control my tongue. Why do you make it a big deal? Sending me to a psychiatrist or another therapist. I just have a problem with my jaw not being stable. That's it. If you can get me an intervention to help my body to coordinate well with my brain, then that's what I need from you. That was the first. Now, the second paragraph. Our body, this body we have, it follows signals from the brain. But those signals from the brain, where do they pass through? The body I'm talking about, the breathing muscles, the jaw, the tongue, the lips, they follow signals which come from the brain in order to move. But where do those signals come from? I've shown it here. I've shown it here. This is the body and this is the brain. The signals are coming to speak, for me to speak. Now I ask you a question. If my body have to receive the signals well, and my brain have sent them, where do they pass through? That's a question you should ask yourself. We are going to read it in the book again. The signals travel through the nervous system, from the brain through the nervous system. Now, there comes another thing about hyperactivity and speech delay, why they are always hand in hand. Most children with hyperactivity, you find their nervous system is overactive. So a nervous system which is overactive, do you think it will be a better medium for the signals coming from the brain to the mouth to speak? Definitely not. That's why in most cases, children with hyperactivity, they also have speech delay. And when you fix hyperactivity, speech starts just coming. Now, so the signals pass through the nervous system, connecting the brain and the spinal cord, the nerves and the muscles. So the signal comes from the brain all the way through the nervous system to the spinal cord. And then from spinal cord, the nerves attached there blanch, sending signals to my mouth, jaw, and tongue so that I can speak. So in the brain, I might have everything perfect. The signals might be better than anything. But you find my nerves attached to the spinal cord are either weakened or even compressed sometime, because most of these children, they have also got muscle spasm and neck stiffness. So it's understandable, it's very easy understandable that I might not be able to speak, not because my brain is having anything bad, but the nerves which are communicating the message to my muscles are having an issue. Now, this is what we call a child who understands but cannot speak. Now you will be with me, you say daddy, say mommy, say this, say that, say that. And I keep quiet and I keep looking at you. You either call me stubborn, but in some cases you find actually the problem is not with me. So this shows you that, let me read it for you. This is why a child who struggles with speech may be also very active. This is why a child who have difficult sitting still, who struggles with coordination and having consistent attention, might also struggle to speak, because these are not separate systems. These are coordinated. If you want your child to speak, fix attention. If you want your child to speak, fix hyper. If you want your child to speak, help him to be able to sit still. Fix this, your child will be able to speak. Yes, I know the most important every parent is looking for. I wish my child can speak. I wish my child can speak. I wish my child can speak. But let me tell you, you need your child to calm down more than speech. You need your child to have attention before speech. You need your child to have hyperactivity reduced before speech, because those are the foundation. Because when the body brain are coordinated and are communicating well, speech is just it just come out. In my experience, all the children I received, the minute they gain attention, eye contact, they are sitting still, they have got concentration, I just tell my team, we've done it. This child is about to speak. And it doesn't take a month. So fix attention, fix hyperactivity, fix eye contact, then the rest comes. Now, there is one thing here I also want you to keep in mind. Though there is a problem, there is also a solution. You might ask me, okay, doctor, what do we do? And this is the question every parent is asking themselves. Yes, we see the problem might be in the medium, the problem might be in the nervous system, the problem might be that the body is not responding well to instruction, the muscles are not responding well. So what do we do? Let me give you what to do. I've given you a lot of tips, I've given you food, I've given you things to do, to like encouraging eye contact, encouraging your child to talk. But this is the main thing. And I'm going to read it for you. If possible, write it down. Role of movement in speech development. One of the most overlooked one of the most overlooked parents. It has been overlooked. One of the most overlooked tools in supporting a child's development is movement. We have our children seated in the rooms with cartoons, with everything. My friend, cartoons are just killing them. Some of us, we do it saying that they are learning English, but they already have a vulnerable nervous system. Cartoon is just going to get even the little neurological energy they had. So one of the most overlooked tool in supporting children, in supporting speech, is sport and movement. Active, engaging movement, let me tell you what they do for your child. When a child runs, from today if possible, and I want you guys to do it for the next 3 months, and we will still continue to do live sessions. Then after 3 months, come back and tell us what you've gained. When a child learns, when a child jumps, when a child learns, it might be 500 meters, it might be 100 meters, it might be 50 meters. By the way, why do you think most of them who are hyperactive, why do you think they like to learn as much as possible? Indirectly, they are just trying to help themselves. But even when they make movement, the best thing we think we are doing is to stop them. Sit still, sit still, sit still. But this is one of the most overlooked tools that children need. What I always tell parents who tell me, when my child is hyper, what should I do? I tell them, leave him alone. So when a child learns, jumps, jumping down, up, 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 or kicks a ball, or play actively, I'm going to give you 4 things that are going to happen in that moment, which are going to solve the speech which you want him to have. The first thing, blood saturation increases. When you see your child learning, when you see a child moving, when you see your child jumping, immediately write it down that my child, his blood flow to the brain is going to improve. Now, let me read you something here so that you get it. Now, I want to read it for you here so that you understand what I'm talking about. When blood supply to the brain improves, this is what happened to your child. Many autistic children have lower resting blood flow in the temporal lobe, medial lobe, and the prefrontal cortex. Temporal lobe is where we process language and sound, and frontal lobe is where we process attention and even speech. Now, when blood supply improves, receptive language improves. You understand? That's why in this book, when I was writing it, I say this is one of the tools overlooked. You hear people telling you go for this supplement, you hear people telling you go for this, go for that, go for that, go for that. Very, very rare you hear people telling you get your child for sport activities. And you are not going to pay anything for those. But this is what is going to increase the receptive language for your child, and even expressive speech will increase because the brain can better mobilize the energy needed to formulate sentences. Who is with me here? Otona, I think you can help us to hear from what people are thinking.
Most people are asking questions.
So I continue.
I can continue.
So, blood, when your child jumps, three things actually. When your child lands, when your child jumps, when your child kicks a ball or play, one of the things that are going to happen is blood saturation increase. And blood saturation increase, according to neuroscientists, this one is going to help the brain to better mobilize the energy needed to formulate sentences. You've been crying that your child can't make a sentence. You've been crying that your child can only speak a word. Guess what? The minute you involve him into sport activities, the blood supply to the brain is going to increase. The energy supply is going to increase in the brain. Now his brain is going to have enough energy to form the sentences you want. So this problem of speech delay, it's not because there's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do. No. Because me, I've seen parents who really got their children for intervention and got results. Here at Kunga Therapy, I see them on a daily basis. I see parents happy every day. Every day, I see parents happy. Every day. And it's one of the things I like. It's one of the things that makes me happy. Even when I go to sleep, knowing that 5, 6, 7, 8 smiling faces of parents who had lost hope, today they confided in me and told me all about the changes they are seeing in their children. So do not accept to stay in a place whereby everyone is telling you, yeah, you've lost on that one. That one will never speak. Just accept it. Just accept it. No, don't accept it. Don't accept it. whoever might be, however powerful might he be, however knowledgeable might he be, even if he is the professor of all the universities in the whole world, and tell you give up, don't give up. Because researchers are showing otherwise. Increase of blood supply in the brain is going to improve receptive language. The child is going to understand the language more quickly. When you talk, because one of the problems you have in speech delay, you find some children have processing delay, others have attention challenges. Now, if the child is going to be now hearing faster and processing faster because of an increase in blood supply, and that's also what Kunga therapy does for you. If you can't take your child for sport, bring him at Kunga. We help you with that. Many parents who brought children at Kunga, one of the things they say that their children now respond to instruction faster. Some tell you that before you used to call twice for him to respond, but now immediately when you call, he responds. When the child has got enough blood supply to the brain, those are the things you get. The child now is saying one word only. But here, according to neuroscientists, enough blood supply to the brain, or an increase in blood supply to the brain, is going to give enough neurological energy to be availed so that our frontal lobe can use them to make sentences, to formulate sentences. All this through sport. Yes, some parents cry, we are not in Kenya. How can we access this? What can we do? You should also think about us. Of course, you feel bad. But these are things you can do at home. Jumping, kicking a ball, learning. Just make 1 hour every day. So these sport activities are going to increase blood supply to the brain. Oxygen supply to the brain is also going to improve. And the nervous system is going to be more active. Let me give you something here again. We've talked a lot about blood. Now, more oxygen in the brain, this is what it does. More oxygen in the brain, it improves in an autistic child. Cells generate more cellular energy in those children. Again, it helps repair and awaken underperformed brain regions. One of the problems you have in autistic children, you find multiple brain parts have been affected. Some are underconnected, others are overconnected, others are not even performing well. But guess what? This oxygen is going to awaken them. Another thing it is going to do, it is going to awaken dormant neurons. Again, higher oxygen levels are going to benefit the temporal and the temporal lobes. This is where we do communication. In the temporal lobe, we process sound and language. In the frontal lobe, we process, that's why we make speech. So higher oxygen supply You don't need any supplement to get this oxygen. You just need to get your child for exercise, sport, learning games, jumping. So you are far, you are in another country, you are in the US, you are in Germany, you are Belgium, you are where? Guess what? You've got this book, this one. It can reach you. You've got to take your child for sport activities. I saw in Europe, every place, every region, every small area, they have a stadium. They have all kinds of sport ground. Make it a habit before going to work. Take your child there. Do it for 3 months and come back here in comments and tell us what you've been able to achieve with your child.
Any questions?
Yes, questions, we can reply them.
Veronica is saying
Veronica.
the child can hear, has attention, but hyper is too much.
The child can hear,
Has attention, but the hyperactivity is too much.
hyper too much.
And then maybe you can combine it with this other question, which is about the same. Now, Millicent is asking how to help them sit still and reduce hyperactivity.
How to help them sit still
And reduce hyperactivity.
and reduce hyperactivity. I see their same question.
Yeah.
The first person is called
The first person
Mirka,
is called Veronica.
Veronica,
And then the second one is Millicent.
Millicent. Millicent, just take your child for sport. The same goes to Veronica. In this book, on the stay with me, on the third paragraph, there is a word where they said what to expect at the beginning. I know it's not an easy job. At first, many children may resist. Because the best solution if you can bring your child here to Kunga therapy, Millicent and Veronica, I guarantee you in a week, after 7 days, those back to back, your child will be sitting still. If anyone who have came at Kunga and you have seen otherwise, they can comment here. They are going to sit still. If you can bring them here, the hyper is going to go, they are going to sit still, even attention is going to come. But if you can't do that, if you can't access Kunga, maybe you are in another country, I want to read this paragraph for you. What to expect at the beginning. At first, many children are going to resist if you take him for sport, because sport is going to give you oxygen, which are going to be very helpful to temporal lobe and frontal lobe, where we have attention. It is going to improve blood supply, which is going to provide the neurological energy, which the brain needs, which will help even him to settle. And oxygen is going to awaken the brain regions like in the limbic system, like amygdala. and dopamine pathways. So your child is going to get enough dopamine, which motivates him to sit still. So if you can't join Kunga, take your child for sport and give him a lot of bananas and give him a lot of milk. First, let me write them down. Veronica and Mirset, get your child for sport. That's the first. That's the one underlooked. Get your child for sport. Secondly, give him a lot of bananas. At least 2 bananas every evening. Third, give him a lot of milk. Fourth, try as much as possible so that he sleeps. Your child is going to calm down. But let me give you a challenge. At first, many children may resist. This is normal. The first few weeks are not about results. Don't look for results in the first 3 weeks, attempting to take your child for sport, for jumping, for learning. For the first 3 weeks, don't expect any result. You just be introducing him and doing it consistently. But first start with 10 to 15 minutes, then increase it from 30 to 40 minutes. So you are not going to start all of a sudden for 1 hour. You are going to start with fewer minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And in the first 3 weeks, it is going to be very hard. But also as someone who knows what you want for your child, who refuses to give up, you do it.
Okay. A lot of people are asking about the book, like how much is the book?
The book is very, very cheap, very cheap, very cheap. The minute you make payment, you just get it in 2 minutes. Let us give you the number. You just write book on that number, right? +254 write book. Then before tonight you would have got it. +254 7 9 7 7 0 5 8 7 0. Just text book on that number. Then you get your book. But do it for your child. If you can't access Kunga Therapy, I think you need this book, truthfully. Guys, I'm reminding you we are live on YouTube as well. We have longer videos where we explain you everything you can do at home. It's called Genuine Kunga Therapy Kenya. It has the same name as this one, Genuine Kunga Therapy Kenya. Even now we are live on YouTube. We are live on YouTube, Genuine Kunga Therapy Kenya. You can even share with your friends in your groups, because there are parents out there who are suffering silently. They have no one to talk to. You are receiving this information. For them, they don't even know what's going on. They are being told to wait. But when you share links, I see some of you in the videos, you share. That's an act of kindness. So I think, should we reply another question or I continue?
Maybe just Miss P. So first of all, Veronica was asking, how do you help with interaction, the child, to improve interaction?
Just do it more. Do it more. Every time he asks you milk, don't just give it to him. Say milk, prompt him to speak it.
Okay, you can continue.
Yeah. Now, I want us to also look at something here at chapter 9, where it says a different way of looking at the body. Up to this point, we have looked at speech from a different angle, not just words, not just as something the brain does alone. I think for now, up to now, there is no parent who've been with us in our lives, in our live session, who still think that the speech is all about brain, which is why we've always branded these children with speech delay, that there is something in the brain, there's a problem in the brain is wired, what. That's what we've been told, and that's what we've been repeating ourselves. So up to now, we've looked at speech from a different angle, not just as words, speaking words, or not just as something that the brain does alone, but as part of a larger system. Why? In most cases, the focus is placed on one area at a time. Speech is treated on its own. That's why we have speech therapists who help our children with speech. Behavior is treated as its own. That's why we have occupational therapists who work on the behavior. On another point, attention is treated on its own. That's why we've got teachers who try to make sure that the child really get attentive. But let me ask a question here. But what if these are not separate? Speech, behavior, and attention. What if these three things are not separate? What if these things are not separate? What if they are all connected like this? Here I'm talking about speech, behavior, and attention. What if all these things are connected? Because when a child becomes calmer, attention improves. When a child becomes calm, I see it happening at Kunga therapy. When a child starts getting calm, my friend, even attention improves. I see many parents. I've received a comment from a parent today who told me they've done 7 days. After the last time I saw them on 7th day, the child had good eye contact and he was very calm. But the father told me that today teachers were saying, what did you give this child? He's more attentive. he's been concentrating in class in a way we've never seen before. So when a child becomes calm, even attention comes. Attention improves. When attention improves, because now the child can be attentive, can look at you guys there, he's at home, he's looking at the mother, he's looking at the father, he's looking at other siblings. Of course, nothing is hurting him, like an overactive nervous system. He's just there, looking at all of you. He's attentive. Guess what? From attention, he learns now to engage with you. He's looking at the way all of you are behaving, says, I'm going to start engaging with Otwane. I'm going to start engaging with Kariuki. I'm going to start engaging with so and so, Albert and what. So when attention improves, even engagement improves. Now, when engagement improves, when he now start coming at you, he's not yet speaking, but at least you see he's coming to approach you, he's looking at you, and he say beep, 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 ba, 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 ta la 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 la, making noise, but he's making at you, looking at you, the way you behave, the way you look at him and all that, he's learning you. From that engagement, when engagement improves, even communication begin to develop. So tomorrow he'll hear you saying good morning, and then he will imitate you and say good morning. So all these are connected. Attention, behavior, speech, they are connected. This pattern is not random. It suggests something important. The body functions as a system, not as a separate part, whereby we are dealing with speech from the brain. The speech has to come from the brain. But my friend, don't forget about the body. Don't forget about the nervous system. For example, if a child is very restless, it becomes difficult to focus. You can't make a child who is restless to focus. You can't. You just can't. If focus is difficult, engagement also becomes limited. If the child can't focus and sit still and focus on something, on you, on other people, if he will not be able even to engage with you. If engagement is limited, communication also becomes harder. Now, as you see it, everything is done what? Connected. If you have to get your child for intervention, don't just get him intervention for the brain, get intervention for the whole thing, both the body and the brain. So this is why in some cases focusing only on speech may not bring the expected results. If your intervention was only speech, you may not get the desired results which you do what you want, because you are focusing on only one thing. Not because speech is not important, but because other parts of the system also need support. When we begin to support the system as a whole, the brain, the body, the nervous system, changes begin to appear across different areas. The child may become more settled. He may begin to focus better, engage with more people, and start attempting communication more often. Let me ask you a question. If they told you that your child now is going to be able to speak 100 words, let's say mommy, daddy, bird, a chair, a hen, a phone, a word, but he can't reply any question from anyone, would you want that? Definitely you wouldn't want that. The reason why he will not be able to do that is because he needs attention and he needs his brain to perform faster, to reply, and his attention to be intact in order to give you your answer. So you need to do it as a whole. Yeah, so here the chapter 10, I think you guys, you will have to buy this book so that in chapter 10 now it says a structured way of support, a structured way to support the system. Now it gives you the final solution, the final thing to do, the final. So you have to have a copy of this to really help your child. So I hope the engagement was good, but I want to answer some of the few questions that are not answered as we go on.
Only have 10 minutes. Okay. Maram Malane.
Malam Malane.
I'm not sure if that's how it's pronounced. But she's saying my son is 1 year, 6 months. He doesn't have eye contact. Any help? I'm from SA.
No contact.
No eye contact. 1 year, 6 months.
Malane, you need this book to help you. But there is another structured system. It's an application we are launching very soon for parents outside Kenya, in which you'll be able to subscribe. You'll be seeing the application on the App Store. You subscribe in the app, you enter, you get hand-in-hand guidance on what you can do. It's called the Kunga Basics. I think it's not yet time to launch, but I've just gone ahead. If you were about to lose hope for your child, just know that there's a solution. There's a big solution coming. For parents who are not in Kenya, we mind about you, we feel bad about you. Sometimes when we think about your cries, I see you, I see your messages, it feels bad. But meanwhile, this copy can help you to see and know what you can be doing for now.
Okay. Akin is saying, my son.
Hakim.
Please, my son can read and write, but he does not respond to me. But sometimes talks some words.
He done right, but
he doesn't respond. And sometimes he can talk some words.
Sometimes
He can talk some words.
he read and write, but he doesn't respond to name.
I think he doesn't respond. just generally doesn't respond?
Sometimes he can talk some words.
Yeah.
Okay, this might be speech delay, but he needs to properly assess for someone to really know what's happening, what's going on. Because speech delay can happen for two reasons. Either there is a processing delay, the child takes too long to process, or there is an attention deficit. Sometimes if you call him and he is focused on something else, his brain does not know how to prioritize. So that's a coordination issue as well. So this might be speech delay. Still, he needs intervention.
Okay. Faith is asking how to potty train a 4-year-old on the spectrum.
Faith, if you're in Kenya, why can't you bring your child? With Kunga, you'll start using toilet.
The child is doing OT 3 times a week.
Just come at Kunga. You need a few sessions of Kunga. If you've tried OT for some time and you haven't seen any breakthrough, try Kunga as well. Because for us, Kunga, I don't know any child we've worked on who had potty training issues, and after 1 month or 2, he was still on diapers. I don't know that. Because sometimes you find the child, it's not because he doesn't want to be trained or he doesn't want to use it. You find actually the body fails to send back the feedback to the brain. Like even him, he doesn't know when it's coming. He just find it out. So for that child, even if some parents beat them, which is very bad. But if you are beating me when I even don't know when the thing is coming, that's not my problem. It means that my body is not giving back feedback to my brain that something is coming. I need support. I don't need sticks. Faith, just bring him at Kunga therapy. That's the only thing I think I can recommend you. Bring him at Kunga, we do those stimulations for the lower spine. Then the feedback can be able to reach the brain.
Okay.
Pefi.
Saying the son cannot walk or sit down and is 3 years old.
Cannot walk or sit. And he's 3 years old. That child might have CP. She's called Pifi.
Yeah,
Pifi, if you are in Kenya, why can't you bring your child? It is still young, but now when he reaches 5, 6, with permanent shortening of muscles, even if by then you bring him at Kunga, will not be able to change much. But right now, if you work on him, he can be able to sit, stand. A lot can change.
Yeah, and then Sarah is asking if you have a branch in Uganda.
Yes, he can get in touch. Then you'll be able to connect him. Write +254 79 77 0 5 870. Let me repeat it again for you. +254 79 77 0 5 870.
Okay, Maureen saying the son is 2 years, very little speech, and screaming a lot.
The son is 2 years.
Very little speech and screaming a lot.
2 years. Very little speech. And screaming. Is she in Kenya?
Not sure. I think so.
You can do these overlooked sport activities that we recommended to improve his blood supply and oxygen supply and body-brain connection. Very good. But if you are in Kenya, she's called? Maureen, if you are in Kenya, why can't you bring these 2-year-old children? In just a few sessions, they get well. Just bring him.
Okay. Mary Kay. My son is now calm, focused, and can concentrate. He can understand and follow direction, but no words yet.
How old is he?
She's not mentioned.
He can understand, follow instruction, but
no words.
No words. That is speechless still. You need to get him for assessment. Then after assessment, we intervene. You can bring him here at Kunga Therapy in Lavington, Valleyfield Court, and we will help you. Any remarks?
Maybe the last one, because it's ending. Danny. My son, 2.5 years old. 2.5.
2.5 years old.
He copies most of what I say.
Copy, imitate.
Yeah. No eye contact or response.
No eye contact.
No response.
No response. Just bring him at Kunga. Bring him at Kunga because he's still young. We can develop speech, eye contact, and attention. If you are not in Kenya, practice things we said in this book. You can have this copy. You can have this copy and read chapter 8 on those exercises you can do, and especially chapter 9, which we did not be able to read because of time.
Okay, you can just give maybe closing remarks before it ends.
Yeah, guys, I want to thank you all, reminding you people who are not in Kenya, who have failed to access Kunga Therapy services. There is a solution, a big solution coming for you. It's an application called Kunga Basics. This is an application that many parents who are not in Kenya and they would want to help their children, they will be able to get almost the same services as those who are in Kenya, because in there are videos, practices, whereby you are guided from minute to minute and practically, whereby even in the middle of sessions where you are helping your own child, now you parents, you are going to be the center of helping your own children. So you are in Australia, you are in Ghana, you are in Germany, And as time goes on, every 2 months, every 3 months, as you help your child, will be receiving feedbacks inside the app. And if you need guidance, whether live, whether video, we'll be able to do all those in the app. It's called Kunga Basics. It's upcoming next month. And again, to remind you, please subscribe to our channel, to our YouTube channel. It's called Genuine Kunga Therapy Kenya. And most of you, I know, you follow us here, but you haven't followed our account here, Genuine Kunga Therapy Kenya. Please follow our account for more videos and more explanations. And on YouTube, we give you long form content so that you can understand in details of what we speak here on TikTok. Cheers.